Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Nyra with your host, Vani Vicharapu. Today, we have an incredible guest with us, none other than Rekhshan Hyder, who is experienced loan consultant, skilled in primary and investment properties. Welcome to you, Rekhshan Hyder.
Hi, how are you doing today, Vani?
I'm doing well, thank you. Could you please tell us about yourself and the background to our audience?
Sure. I am a resident of the Cary, North Carolina area. Been here for about 17 years, almost 17 years. I have been in the financial services industry. Came to the US after high school, went to college over here, and also was able to get an MBA in finance. And I've been, like I said, helping people make the dream of home ownership come true.
Great. Okay. We have a few questions from our callers, Rekhshan, and we would want to go over those about how the housing market is and is it a good time to buy a house or not. So let's move on and go with the questions. So if a person wants to buy a house, what are the main steps or how many weeks in advance the person has to plan for?
The earlier you plan, the better it is. That way you'll be able to make sure you have the right funds to close. And the other important thing that any lender would look at is your credit scores, and also to find the right kind of mortgage product for you. So the sooner you start, the better it is. A credit report or a pre-approval is good for 90 days. If somebody is thinking about buying a home in the next 90 days or so, I would say start now. That way you will know exactly where you stand, what kind of a home you can afford. You want to be looking at the homes that you are able to afford. These days, it's still pretty competitive in the market. If you make an offer, you have to give a large due diligence and earnest money, and you don't want to jeopardize that. And you're also helping save the realtor's time and your time. That way, if you know that you can only be qualified for, say, a $500,000 home, then you know to look in that price range and be proactive and be able to make an offer right away. So apply with a lender. It's pretty straightforward. Within a day or two, they'll be able to give you the pre-approval and also give you what's called a worksheet with the breakdown of costs. That'll tell you what your expected monthly payment would be, and also what you need as cash to close when you're ready to close. Yeah.
Okay. And I heard that pre-approval is an easy process. You can get it in a day or so. So when you go to the actual mortgage approval, how many days of time will that take?
You were right. So once you make an application, the lender can do the pre-approval right away. They will ask you for your past 2 years of W-2s, 2 months of bank statements, 2 months of pay stubs. And based upon that, they can issue the pre-approval.
So Rekhshan, I have another question. So when a person wants to get a mortgage approval instead of a pre-approval will take a day or so. But if he has to get a mortgage approval, how long does he have to plan for, and how many days it would take?
It could take a little longer because that way, in the initial process, it is the lender, like the loan officer, who gathers the information, documents everything, runs the underwriting system, and is able to give you. If you want to be more thorough and have the file be reviewed by an underwriter, that could take 4 to 5 days, but it's still pretty quick.
Great.
We can do what's called a TBD, meaning to be decided, that you have not found, for somebody who's not found a home, but they really want to be sure that there won't be any hiccups in the mortgage process. We can have the file reviewed by an underwriter, yes.
Okay. And the only way that a person could know that he's qualified to buy a home is through a pre-approval process.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. And when we submit a document, I think the loan officer would ask for certain documents from a person who's applying for a loan. Could you please share more information about what kind of documents should a person submit?
Sure. The basic ones would be your past 2 years of W-2s, like I said, 2 months of bank statements, pay stubs. If you are on certain visa or a green card, you should know that. If there are any special circumstances for people that are self-employed, it's a little more thorough. We need your past 2 years of business and personal tax returns, because that's how they evaluate what your income is. or if there are any special circumstances, we need to be sure. If there are any gaps in employments, somebody who is, often at times I see people that are new to the U.S. or they were residing here and then they left. So there could be questions as to if they were working in India, were they getting paid over here? Were they filing their taxes? So it's things like that. And it's best to just be upfront and let the lender know everything right in the beginning.
Okay. And let's say credit score. I think credit score will play a very big role in getting the loan approved. What does a person need to do in order to repair their credit score if it's low?
So you know how there are several different loan programs. There's the FHA loan, which is you need a minimum credit score of 580. You can have medical collections and things like that and still be able to qualify for an FHA loan. But of course, there's the county limit for that. The other one is a conventional loan, which is any loan which is less than 647,000. For that, you need a minimum score of 620. And then for any homes, like it's pretty common over here in our area, the prices have gone up, the home prices, that it's usually called a jumbo loan if it's more than 647,000. But that usually you need a 720 and over. There are different lenders, and besides these credit scores, if you have any issues and at the time that the lender pulls your credit, we have ways of helping you to guide and take the steps to reduce it. It could be the score is low just because the person is new in the U.S. I see that a lot in our community. They're just new to the U.S., does not have a long established history. Right. Or it's a personal preference that people prefer to pay by cash and do not use a card as much. So, if you don't utilize it fully, then you're not being able to establish credit worthiness. So it could be things like that. But upfront, a lender is definitely able to help you and guide you.
Got it. Okay. And let's say, looking at the current market, I see that the interest rates have been gone up. And do you think it's because of the economy? The interest rates might have gone up?
Absolutely. So what happened the past 2 years with the interest rates being so low, that was really unprecedented. That is not what common it is. Prior to COVID in 2018, the rates were around 4.875, which is still a whole percentage point less than what we're seeing right now. But the economy was, say, going at the speed of light, and this was done to kind of stop it down and help bring about a recession. These are temporary things. Like I tell my buyers, buy the house now, because as you know, home prices are going up. You're still better off being able to own a home yourself as opposed to renting or paying somebody else's mortgage. And then in a year or two, when the prices, interest rates go down, you are able to refinance.
Okay.
But it makes sense to buy the home now.
Okay. So with your experience of whatever, you have seen ups and downs on the market going up and down. Mm-hmm. So you still suggest our audience or people who in Morrisville and RTP area that this is still a good time to buy a home?
Absolutely. As long as somebody has a good established credit, there are adjustable rate mortgages. Those rates often tend to be lower. And there are 5 and 7 year terms. That's still a long time. It'll give you a chance to refinance before that.
Okay. And thank you for sharing that information, Rekhshan. And one more question is, let's talk a little bit more about the Raleigh housing market, how it is trending right now.
It is still a great time to buy because of the increase in interest rate. We're seeing fewer investors, and the past 2 years, our market it was very competitive, and there were overpriced and overbidding because we had the investors. So now, for people that are looking for primary homes, it's slowed down a little bit, but it's still there. There's parade of homes going on in Wake County, and I happened to go and be able to visit the builders. Mm-hmm. In order to be able to sell their homes, builders have bigger incentives that we hadn't seen in the past 2 years, and also they have more inventory out there. So I would highly recommend go out there, take a look at the parade of homes, or even resales, and you should be able to find a home. I have some buyers that I had pre-approved 4 or 5 months ago, and now they're able to make offers and win the bidding wars and not have to overprice. So there's still homes out there. I would highly recommend to go and see.
Okay. And you being experienced in the primary and the investment homes, would you give us more information on how much down payment does a primary home cost, or how much the buyer have to be prepared for, and how much down payment does a buyer have to be prepared for an investment home?
Sure. Like I said, there are different kinds of loan programs depending upon your situation and what the credit scores are. For an FHA, you need 3.5% down.
Okay.
So for a $100,000 home, you need 3,500 as the down payment. On an FHA, they allow you to get gifts from family on a primary home, and you still need a little more for the closing costs, which is around 3,000 to 4,000. And it all depends on how you negotiate. Oftentimes, the seller is able to pay for the closing costs. Same thing for a conventional loan, which is once again under 640. There are first-time home buyers and other programs where you can put as little as 3% down, but you will have PMI, the prime mortgage insurance. If you want to avoid the mortgage insurance, then you have to put 20% down. And then the other one, most jumbo loans require 20% down, and they also have reserve requirements, meaning you need to show that you have 6 to 8 months of reserves. Yeah.
Okay. And Rekhshan, would you like to share any information for our listeners?
Sure. I like you and I discussed the first step would be to get a pre-approval. That way you know exactly what your comfort, mortgage payment is going to be, and start with that process. I'm always able to help. I work with New American Funding. We are a direct lender. And like I said, I'm local here, happy to help. If you have any questions, we have all kinds of loan programs to help you. And also don't get scared by the interest rates. The saying these days is marry the house, date the rate, meaning if you love a house, buy it right now, and you will be able to refinance if the rates are higher.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Rekhshan, if our audience want to reach out to you for any further questions, how do we contact you? Could you please share your contacts?
Absolutely. The direct cell phone number is 919-592-3072. Once again, it's 919-592-3072. My name is Rekhshan Hyder. I'm with New American Funding. You can Google me, or you can find me on Facebook or any kind of social media. But the best way would be to call or text me, and I should be able to help. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all the information with Radio Nyra and to our audience as well, Rekhshan. And we are glad that you're being part of Radio Nyra as well.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I enjoy listening to Radio Nyra, and what you're doing to the community is wonderful. Thank you. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you so much. You have a wonderful day.
You too. Thanks.